public service and the public. Okay, so there are two groups interacting with each other. Okay, one is public service, and the other one is the what we call it, the public or the society. Okay, okay, let's move on. So as for the introduction, so this is I quoted the what we call the words of our former Prime Minister in 2019, in which he mentioned about the process of public participation, which is one of the elements, okay, one of the important elements of good governance. All right. So if you look at this statement, it says that participatory decision making underpins good governance. Without a wide consultative framework, a government is not compelled to be transparent and accountable, just and fair. A system of good governance produces good governments, and in turn, good government perpetuates a system of good governance. Okay, so we can see from this statement that, if you look at what we call that, some of the words here like transparent, accountable, just, fair. So all these are the elements of public service. Okay, so it's very important to think about public service as having all these elements. Okay, and of course, public participation is one part of it. One part of the good governance. All right, moving on. So again, as I mentioned earlier on, what do we mean by public participations? So public participation is the involvement of stakeholders in administrative functions and decision making. So it involves the engagement between public agencies and also the people or the public. Okay, so the public here is defined broadly to include community, stakeholders, citizens, as well as consumers. Okay, so public, you as an individual, as a citizen, so you are considered as a public, right? And so when you get to involve with the government agencies, then we can say that there is a process of public participation. Okay, later on I will explain what kind of interactions or what kind of engagement that you as a citizen can involve with government agencies. Okay. All right, so there are two mechanisms of public participation. One is passive and the other one is active. Okay, so passive here means, or it refers to press releases, websites, printed materials, like if you see posters and advertisement. Okay, so these passive mechanisms are generally used to disseminate information to the public. Okay, later I'll show you what do we mean by passive mechanism. And then the second one is active mechanism. Okay, active mechanism is what NPS is actually advocating for. Okay, because NPS, they really stress on the engagement, okay, between the people and also public agencies. Okay, so active mechanisms include public hearings, such as town hall meeting, citizen advisory boards, citizens focus groups, and also open houses. Okay, later I'll show you one of the example of the active mechanism, the one that is commonly used by a lot of governments around the world. Okay, maybe perhaps I think maybe you can share with me as well if you if you know what kind of mechanism that has been used by Indonesian civil service. Okay. Okay. So this is what I meant by what we call passive mechanism. Okay, so I'm sure you have seen, maybe you have, some of you have social media, and sometimes NGOs, like this example, Persatuan Aktivis Sahabat Alam. This is one of the NGOs in Malaysia that is concerned with environmental issues. So they posted a notice on their social media platform. Okay, so they inform the people that there is one particular plan which is called Draft Rancangan Struktur Negeri Kelantan, which is one of the states in Malaysia. And they need, the government, the agencies need public involvement. So this is the kind of informations that being putting out by this NGO on their social media. So this is what we call as passive mechanism. Okay, same goes if you've seen what we call that advertisement in newspaper. Similarly, okay, notice pemberitahuan. Okay, this is like an advertisement to inform the people that there will be some sort of public participation. Okay, the government need to implement certain project or program, and they need the people or the society's feedback. And so they advertise all these informations in social media and newspaper. So they will inform things such as venues, dates, times, okay, where you can go and participate. Okay, this is what we call passive mechanism. Similarly, if you go to some of the government agencies' website, they also advertise this kind of informations. Okay, so I took the example from the one of the local authorities in Malaysia, which is in Penang. Majlis Bandaraya Pulau Pinang, or the City Hall of Penang, Penang Island. So in their website, they also advertise things like this: publicity dan penyertaan awam. Okay, Draft Rancangan Struktur Negeri Pulau Pinang 2030. So they will explain what is the project is all about. Okay, and what is publicity and penyertaan awam. So they will explain in their website. Okay, so these are all the mechanisms of passive. It doesn't necessarily involve interaction. It's just like to give informations to the public. Okay, now this is what we call active mechanisms. Okay, so this is example of town hall meeting that happened in my university, University of Science Malaysia. So this one, there are two examples that I put up here. One is involving the staff in USM, and another one is involving the students in USM. So you can see this is, okay, if you see this kind of what we call information, this is what we call passive, right? But if you attend the town hall meeting session, that is considered as active. Okay, so the advertisements, maybe you see this in posters or in their in USM website or in social media platform. That is passive. Okay, because it's just informing you. Okay, but when you attend the town hall session, then it becomes what we call active mechanism. Okay, so this is interactions between the top management and also the staff in USM. And this one is between the MPP, the Majlis Pelajar, okay, and also the students. All right, so there are two parties involved here. Okay, so I'm not sure if similar things, you have a similar town hall session in UMY. Maybe you can share with me later if you have attended one town hall sessions, or maybe if not in UMY, maybe in your local authorities. Okay, so now what is the reason for government agencies to conduct public participation? So the advocates of public participation, they stated that public participation is significant, is important because it offers benefits, okay, for both organizing and participating parties. Okay, so the organizing here is the public agencies, the civil service. So the civil service, the government agencies, they will get feedback and input from the people. And the participating party, which is involve the people or the society, the public, they will have a say in a project or in a program that will have impact on their life. Okay, so this kind of interaction, it shows like win-win situations. Okay, why public participation is necessary. But of course, with any other aspect of our life, the process itself also has what we call the pros and the cons. Okay, later we will see what are the cons. Okay, what are the disadvantages of public participation. So it's not all advantages. It might, some of the process might also have disadvantages. All right. Okay, and then another reason as well is public ownership of policies. Okay, because any public policy, if you are aware of them, if if you're interested in them, you sort of like having a say in that public policy. You take in charge in it, not probably not directly, but if you involve in it, so which means that you sort of like taking and ownership of the public policy. Okay. The next one is better decisions. Okay, perhaps the projects or the programs that the government agencies want to implement it can be more sustainable, supportable, and it reflect community values. Because it's not just the thinking of the government agencies to implement that project, but because they conduct a public participation and people has a say in it, people have a say in it, so it involve it is expected to have a better outcome. Okay, and it also increase agency credibility. Okay, meaning to say that whenever government agencies wanted to implement any policy, any program, it means that they are open to any suggestions from the public. So it's sort of like they don't have a gap, between public agencies and the public, because usually people, the public, they tend to have what we call that lack of trust, towards public agencies, right? So when the agencies open up their door for the people to get feedback, input, perhaps this will increase the credibility and trust of the public toward the agency. And then could be that any project or policy would garner less oppositions from the people because it is discussed with the public. Um, well, you have to take this in caution, because sometimes not necessarily so. Sometimes certain projects, certain policies also get a lot of oppositions. Later, I'll show you the example. And then faster implementations of plans and project. Again, this is just sort of like expectation. If you do public participation, hopefully the public will support the policies. And then government agencies can implement the plans or project much faster, because it gets approval from the people. But again, not necessarily, it doesn't always happen like that. Okay, this is just sort of like an expectation from government agencies. All right. Okay. How do we consider as, or what are the indicators of successful public participation? Now, I put a quotation there for successful, is because certain scholars, they are very they are, how do I put this? Because successful here is very debatable, because there are a lot of things, a lot of measures that can be used as an indicator for successful. There is no one size that fits all. Okay, that's why I put successful in the quotations there. So, but certain scholars, they argue that if you have these characteristics or these elements, then you can consider your public participation process as successful. Okay, one is the willingness of citizens to take part in the process. Okay, so because not all issues, not all public policy will get attention from the public. Okay, and so in order for public participation process to happen successfully, you need people to participate. Okay, so if you're a civil servant working in government agencies, if you have a certain project or plan, but then you couldn't get any feedback from the people. So there's nobody involved there. Okay, it's only you and your staff. So that is not, that cannot be considered as successful public participation. Okay, it has to involve the people or the society. Okay, and then quit and quit here listed three determinants of successful public participation. Okay, one is characteristic of the structure of the participation, like for example the kind of mechanisms that you use. You know, just now we're talking about passive and active mechanisms. And then participation targets, okay, such as resource based, whether your agency has money or human resource to be employed for the process. And members attitude, members here it could refers to the societies, it could refers to the civil servants in the agencies. So that is one of the what we call criteria used. And then the third one is environment, okay, in terms of stability of the organizations or agencies, forms of government. You know, if the government is more open, then certainly the process can be implemented or can be held more easily compared to autocratic government. Okay, you know, because autocratic government definitely it's very top-down approach. You know, they hardly want to listen to the bottom line or the people out there, right? So they just, you know, implement whatever they think that is good for the society. So that is also another what we call that criteria. And then community size, you know, if it's too big, then probably it's not easy to handle public participation, but there are ways to do it if the community is big. But what the scholars argue here, I think it is the size of the community. If it's smaller, then perhaps it's a lot more easier and manageable, okay, compared to if the community size is bigger. All right. And then elected official support, this refers to the politicians. Okay, like in our system, the ministers usually are the politicians. So if government agency wanted to implement what we call public participation, if they support it, then that would be a lot more easier. Lower levels of red tape. Remember last week we talked about red tape. You know, remember the short videos that I show you? So if there are too many rules, if there are too many forms, so that's going to impede or it's going to stop or it's going to delay the process of public participations. Okay. And then the kind of leadership as well. Okay. Again, you know, if the leadership is much more autocratic, it will be difficult to implement public participation process. So you need you know, what we call public managers that are open to the idea of listening to the people, you know, that are comfortable in implementing the bottom-up approach compared to the top-down approach. Okay, so these are the some of the criteria that scholars use to consider or measure the success of public participation process. All right. And then what about effective public participations? You know, how, you know, if government agencies need to do public participation process, what are the things that they need to think or things that they need to consider? Okay, one, it needs to be inclusive, right? What does it mean? It means that, like for example, if they want to inform the public about town hall meeting, so the informations has to go to everyone in the society. Okay, they cannot just advertise in social media, for example, because, you know, perhaps only younger generations that has social media, not the older people. Okay, or maybe that's why you will see different kind of advertisement of a town hall meeting just now. You know, people agency can advertise it via social media, newspaper, or radio or TV. So there are various kind of mechanism used. Okay, this is to ensure that the information can be reached to everyone in the society, without discrimination. So it has to be inclusive. And also, when you do public participation, like for example, um, if you want to conduct a town hall meeting, right? So it has to be done at a time where everyone can attend. Okay, like for example, perhaps after meeting or after working hours or during the weekends. Okay, because if you conduct town hall meeting during working hours, then people who work, they might not be able to attend your town hall meeting, right? So that is the some of the considerations. Okay, it has to be inclusive. All right. The second one, to provide incentive for participation, especially for vulnerable stakeholders. Um, Incentive, because it's not easy to get people to come to town hall meeting, for example. Okay, because not everyone is interested in certain issues, and also some people might have what we call that. They might have barriers. Okay, like for example, maybe some people do not have money to go to that place, or they don't have transport, for example. So perhaps providing incentive can encourage them to attend a town hall meeting. Okay, let me go back to this what we call that advertisement here. Now, if you notice here, dua mata CPD, okay, my CSD disediakan. So this is the kind of incentive that these people use to get people to come. So which means that because this is considered as a token for their involvement. So this is sort of like, if you give this my CPD point of tokens, perhaps more people would come. They might be interested to come. Okay, so that kind of idea, I mean, that kind of things, all right? So that's what we call incentive. There are some government agencies that give incentive, such as they provide food, they provide drinks, and then they provide what we call that in my case study, in the past, um, this agency provide nursery, for parents who have kids. So to allow the parents to attend the town hall meeting, they provide what we call children care at the place. Okay, so parents with kids can come, but they can leave the kids, in particular rooms, so that they can attend the meeting, the town hall meeting. So that is what we meant by incentive. Okay. And then to incorporate the input gathered from public participation process. Okay, now you advertise to the people that we are going to have this town hall meeting. So that is one step. Okay, when people come, that is the second step. Okay, when people talk at the town hall meeting, that is the third step. And the fourth step, which is much more crucial, is that you have to consider some of these input that you gathered from the people. All right. So to incorporate feedback and input from the public is also very important. Okay. So I mean, there is no use if you go to a town hall meeting, you give opinion, you give input, but then the agency just brush it off. They just don't care about it, right? So there is no point. So at least you should consider some of the inputs given by the public, because that is the main reason why you're doing a town hall meeting, because you want to gather the input and feedback from the public. And then the extent of interactions, of course, this is also very important. I give you some idea of how town hall meeting is conducted. Okay, so usually, I mean, like, it's very traditional, or it's very, it's not really what we call that. It's kind of common that town hall meeting is held as the sort of like, you have a stage, you have a stage, and then you will have people from public government agencies sitting on the stage, and then the public will sit down there. So it's sort of like, facing each other. And then usually what they will do, the government officers, they will explain what the town hall meeting is all about. Okay, we are here to discuss about this project. Okay, so they will explain, you know, the details, blah, blah, blah. And then, okay, anyone has an opinion, okay? Do you have a say? Come to the microphone. So usually they will give like around 3 minutes for people to speak. Okay, each person will have a queue, and then they will say whatever they might want to ask questions, you know, and things like that. Okay, so that is the kind of interactions. Okay, there has to be an interaction between one another, because there is no point having a town hall meeting where you only government officers are talking, but the people are not allowed to talk. Okay, so that is not public participation. Okay, so it has to be a two-way communication. It has to be some sort of interaction between government agencies and the people. All right. And then the quality of input received. Again, because when government agencies do public participation, of course, they are hoping the best from the people. Okay. And, you know, it's very difficult because everyone, you know, the public, they have different levels of understanding of issues. They might not know certain thing. Some people might know too much. Okay, and so it's very difficult actually. But to the extent that it has to be done, the input received, of course, the government agencies need to think what is the kind of input that they have. Okay, from the people. Is it just, you know, complaints? Is it really like important feedback that they need to consider? So it's sort of like, of course, this will be more work for government officers, government agencies, because they have to filter, you know, which feedback, which input that is that are important and has quality that they need to consider. Okay. All right, so these are the, now we move on to the challenges. Okay, just now we talk about the benefits, the reason why government agencies are doing public participation. This is sort of like the, what we call the cons of public participation. One is lack of public awareness of the importance of participation. Now, you know, like I mentioned, town hall meeting is kind of the common public participation mechanisms that government agency usually do. But, you know, to attract people to come to town hall meeting is not easy. Okay, some people, they just don't care. NIMBY here means not in my backyard. This is sort of like a syndrome, NIMBY, meaning to say that I don't care about this issue, so I don't want to attend this town hall meeting. All right, so sometimes people lack of awareness why their participation matter. You know, similarly, like I show you the town hall meeting in USM here, between Majlis Pelajar and the students. Usually students just don't care. Okay, they are not interested to attend. Okay, so it's not really a popular event. Sometimes, you know, the students just attend because they will get the point, the CPD, but they do not necessarily speak up during the town hall meeting. Okay. And then the second one is lack of financial resources. You know, some agencies do not, because they do not have money, they do not have budget to conduct public participation, because of course it involves some sort of cost, you know, to have this meeting. And then time and mobility constraints from the people as well. And that's why I mentioned just now that the town hall meeting, if you want to do town hall meeting, it has to be done in a place and in a particular time where people can attend. Okay, if you're doing it during working hours, perhaps people who work cannot attend it. Okay. Language barriers, especially in a multiracial country, you know, such as Malaysia or Indonesia. I don't know about Indonesia. I think probably most Indonesians understand Bahasa Indonesia well compared to here in Malaysia, because we still have Malaysians who cannot understand and speak Bahasa Malaysia very well. And so that is what we call language barriers. And then increasingly cynicism toward government. Okay, because cynicism toward government, it also has to do with the trust that I mentioned just now. and credibility, because people usually they don't think that their opinion mattered. That if I go and give and talk, probably they just government agencies wouldn't listen to me. Okay, they are very cynical in that sense. Okay, so I don't want to waste my time going to town hall meeting, because, well, if I go, if I speak up, I don't think that they will take into considerations my opinion. So that kind of thoughts. Okay, so this is the challenges for government agencies when they do public participation. All right, so I give you some one of example. This happened in, I think, in the States. Um, this is a pretty recent. I think last October, last year, in this place, in this city named Waynesville, where the local authority conducted a town hall meeting on local mask mandate. Because of COVID-19, people are required to wear masks, but apparently in this place, some people, in the States, because they care about human rights and things like that, some people say that, oh, I don't want to wear masks, so you cannot say whatever, I mean, like, you can take action against me. So but this particular local council, they wanted to do this town hall meeting, to gather input from the public. Okay, so what they did is that propose local mask mandate. Okay, and then 100 people packed town hall to voice their opposition. So these people, as you can see, they're not wearing masks. So apparently these people are the one who against this idea of mandating, mewajibkan pemakaian mask. So they want to say, they want to tell the local authority that you cannot have this kind of rules and regulations of mandating us to wear masks in public. Okay, but what happened was that tension rose before the meeting ever began, because until the doors open. So because it's too many people. So again, remember when we talk about, you have to choose a place that is convenient for people to attend town hall meeting. So apparently, I guess probably the local authority didn't expect the turnout, 100 people, and they held this town hall meeting probably in a small room, a small hall. So it's not enough for everyone. Okay, and then those wishing to speak were told they had to fill out a form and wait in the lobby until their name was called. Okay, so this is, remember when I mentioned about red tape has to be reduced. So this is sort of like the so-called red tape, so there's, of course, these people are angry, right? Because you want to speak, why would I need to fill in the form and I have to wait? So of course this didn't sit well with many in the crowd. Okay, so this is the kind of example how some local authorities or government agencies feel to conduct public participation or town hall meeting properly. Okay, so this is one example. Okay, this is also a what we call a cutout from the newspaper now. Okay. Address. Okay, this is not really important. Okay, so this is the response. Okay, the response from the public. So what did the people say? So they said that, I think it was a little bit of a joke. If it is a public hearing, the public should be allowed to speak, but they don't really want to hear from the public. Right? They want people to shut up and just go with what they are doing. So this is how some of people felt about the town hall meeting. Okay, and then another participant said that the town was clearly unprepared to handle the turnout. Okay, it is hot button issue. They should have done some better planning. Okay, so again, you will see that sometimes when government agencies do public participation or things like town hall meeting, it only will attract more attention if the issues is like this lady mentioned, hot button issues. Issues that really concern a lot of people out there. Okay, so sometimes the issues, sometimes a town hall meeting, there's nobody attended, probably because the issue is not interesting, or the issues are not affecting a lot of people. So that could be the reasons. Okay, but apparently this issue of mandating masks among the public is such a important issues and such a controversial issues that a lot of people are attending the meeting. Okay, so this is just one example. Now, how to overcome the challenges that I mentioned just now? Okay, citizens need to be empowered and educated. So, of course, we need to educate and empower people that public participation is important, that your voice matter, that you have the rights to say, you have the rights to give opinion, things like that. Okay, and of course, we do not want to be apathic society, okay, that we do not want to care about the issues surrounding us, because a lot of issues, a lot of public policies are affecting our life, and that's why we should care, and that's why we should participate. All right, they need to know that their participation method and diverse representation will have an impact on decisions. Okay, this is also important, but of course it's not easy, because as I mentioned earlier on, a lot of people do not attend town hall meeting or public participation because they think that their opinion, their views do not matter. Okay, so this is quite a challenge for government agencies. Okay, to show the people that we really want your input, that we care about what you want to say. All right, so it's very important. Okay, public administrators, civil servants need to equip themselves with the right participation knowledge and skills. Again, like the example that I show you just now, if you know that the issues is controversial, is a hot issue, definitely you need to be better prepared, on how to conduct the town hall meeting. Okay, probably do it at a large hall or room, so that more people can comfortably attend the meeting. Okay, changes in administrative structures and processes. Again, it depends. Like I mentioned just now, if the agencies are very top bottom approach, you might want to be more flexible. By doing this kind of things. By having a town hall meeting, for example. And then the last one is leadership and resources are crucial in order to create an environment that will be able to facilitate authentic participation. Of course, at the end of the day, anything that happen in government agencies, in public service, I think largely it boils down to the leadership. Okay, if the boss, if the leader do not care or they are not interested to do this, then whatever the top, the middle civil servants are going to do, it's very difficult. Okay, so it needs support from the top management for public participation to be held successfully. All right. Okay, now moving on to the case study. So I have two case studies here. Local case study in Penang. So I'm looking forward to hear if some of you might have attended, public participation in your place. Or in UMY, but here I'm going to explain a little bit about how public participations happen in the context of Penang. All right. The first one is Penang Transport Master Plan. So I'm not going into detail about this plan, but suffice to say that if you can see this map, so this is what the government of Penang is planned to do. Okay, so they plan to build more roads. They plan to have a monorail. They plan to have LRT. Okay, in the island. They also plan to have, I think, skycap or tunnel, things like that. So there are a lot of things going on in this transport master plan. Okay, so the reason why they are doing this is because of the traffic congestions. It's pretty bad in Penang, and so that's why they want to do this, right? Okay, so what they did was they called for a public forum, what we call town hall meeting or public forum. So as you can see, remember, if you see this kind of advertisement, it means passive, okay, passive mechanism, okay, so that this information is disseminated via their website, via social media, and I think to some extent newspaper as well, and also radio, if I'm not mistaken, right? So, the government is telling the people in Penang, okay, we are going to have this public participation process, the town hall meeting. When? Here is the date, here is the time, and here is the venue. So everything that you need to know, okay? So they are inviting people to come and speak during this public forum or town hall meeting. All right. So this is what happened. Okay. So like I mentioned, usually this is a very traditional kind of town hall meeting. You'll have a stage, and then you'll have like chairs where government official will sit here. But interestingly, in this public participation process or town hall meeting, they also invited this group of people who are actually opposing the Penang Transport Master Plan. So it's very rare, I think, for public participation or town hall meeting that have government officials and also the group of people who are actually opposing for the plan. So in that sense, I think it's something that is quite, I don't know, quite commendable, something that is positive, that you give a chance for those people who are actually opposed to the plan to speak up during the town hall meeting. So they dedicate, I think, about half an hour or maybe 15 to 30 minutes for this group of people. This is an NGO. So these are their representative to speak up why they are opposing to the Penang Transport Master Plan. Okay, so in this kind of town hall meeting, the people who attended the meeting will hear from both sides. Okay, one from the government who are actually planning to do it, and on the other hand, they also are able to listen to the group of people who are actually opposing it. So you can get balanced perspective. Okay, you can hear from both sides. All right. So here is some more pictures during the town hall meeting. So you will see these are the representative from the government. I think this one is the contractor, the what we call the consultant that's going to implement this plan. But others, you can see government officials, and then you will see this hall is pretty big, so it can accommodate, I think, probably thousands or more people, and you will see that people are lining up, okay, to speak during the session. Okay, so these people have a lot of concerns, and they want to give opinion, they want to ask questions. So if they ask questions, then of course these people will have to answer the questions. Okay, so that's how the what we call the process happen. Okay. And so you see sesi soal jawab or Q&A session. So you will see the chief minister is actually answering some of the questions posed by the public, and you will see, this is also happen kind of common to happen in a town hall meeting or public participation process, where those people who oppose to certain policies or project, they will protest during the meeting. Okay, so you see, but this one is much more peaceful protest, in the sense that they just held cardboard sign saying that, oh, we are opposing this meeting, this project. In other countries, it also happened where people throwing stuff, throwing chairs, so it's more violent in that sense. So it happens, okay, in town hall meeting. Okay. um so these are okay. Now, even though the government, okay, maybe I should show you this. um Here, this is the government website where they claim that they have engaged people, about this number 21,000 people. Okay, so this is the official government website. All right, so they will show you pictures that, oh, we have engaged with the people when it comes to this project. Okay, so you can see from their website. But this project also receive some sort of what we call oppositions, okay, from the public. Okay, so you can see that a group of people are actually opposing this project. Okay, all right, so that is one case study. Okay, another one that I would like to show you is case study number 2 is between the local authority and cycling group. So this is my research because I did a research to understand public participation or public engagement between local authority and also cycling group. Okay, this is my research. So as you can see here, this is the sort of like public participation that conducted by the local authority or MPPB, okay, in Penang. So you'll see like a group of people are talking here, asking questions, having discussion, okay. So what happened during this meeting? Also, the mayor actually conducted a town hall meeting with a group of people as well. I didn't put a picture here. Again, similarly, all government officers will go to will answer the questions from the public during the town hall meeting. So what happened, the outcome of this interaction is that this is more of like a very, I would say, quite a positive public participation, because this kind of engagement between government agencies and cycling advocates actually, we can see a lot of positive outcomes, okay, such as they built more cycling lanes, even though it's not perfect, but at least we have some cycling lanes. We also have they also launched the cycling map in Penang. Again, it's not perfect, but we have it. So and then the what we call the local authority also allow foldies, the folding bike on board to the public buses. Okay, so before this, if you have bicycle, you cannot you cannot ride bus, but now they allow the kind of bicycle that you can fold and you can bring it in public transport. This is one of the stretch of the cycling lanes in Penang as well. And then we have what we call bike sharing. So because of this, what we call public participation between cycling groups and cycling advocates and local authority, Penang managed to get all these infrastructure, okay, bike sharing, for example, okay. So yeah, so thank you very much. That's all from me. My presentations about public participations in practice, because last week we are talking about theory, and today we are looking the aspect of NPS more practically. So you know that one of the elements of NPS is people, where people engage with government agencies. And so this is the kind of public participation. Town hall meeting is very common. That the kind of public participation processes that government usually handle. Okay, so I don't know. I mean, because we are talking about public participation, perhaps if you would like to share with me if you have attended any town hall meeting, or if UMY has ever conducted any town hall meeting. So maybe you can share with me. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nadhrah, for very interesting lecture today. So we just know that you are also like to do cycling.
Sorry?
You also do like cycling.
Oh yeah. I have a group. Founded a club. Founded a club. Established a group of people to encourage more people to cycle on campus. Because I do not know in UMY, but here, at least in main campus in Penang, more students are actually using motorbikes, and some of them are driving. So, our group would like to encourage students and staff to cycle instead, because it's good for your health, it's good for the environment, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
your photos show that you are also in the campus also do cycling.
Yes, yes, yeah. So
Yeah.
if if the students would like to share with me if they have attended any town hall meeting,
Yeah.
maybe you have questions.
Yeah. Class, please share with Dr. Nadhrah any experience that maybe you ever invited by the local government for any project from the government, such as maybe you attend Musrenbang, or when we call it Musrenbang
Oh,
here.
Muslimbang. Oh, okay.
Ya, musyawarah pembangunan,
Ah,
perencanaan pembangunan.
I see.
So,
Okay.
yeah, it is organized by local government. Yeah, and they also have public hearing
Uh-huh.
for any issues that is important for people.
I
But
see.
maybe, yeah, maybe our students would like to share their experience.
Yes.
Anyone from the class? Mas Aras? Oh. Okay. Mbak Ika Galo.
What about students representative? Majelis Pelajar, do you have like town hall meeting like in USM? We have, like I mentioned in my presentation, we have a town hall meeting between Majelis Pelajar and students,
Oh
mahasiswa.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Maybe in this case, students would better. I mean, better to answer this.
yeah.
Anybody want to answer? Mas Muhammad Yusuf. Yeah. Oh yeah, you can unmute your speaker, Mbak. Mbak Ririn. Yeah.
In UMY, we have Dewan Perwakilan Mahasiswa.
So do you have the town hall meeting like between Dewan Perwakilan Mahasiswa and mahasiswa?
And then what kind of activity, Mbak, that show your participation
Yeah.
in student organization? Maybe you ever invited by another organization for public participation, maybe, Mbak Ririn?
Maybe the student council is seems like in USM because for student council they make a event like I think in USM same too, because when I in USM they have activities like make a event, make a donation for student when the lockdown, yeah, like that maybe.
So more like a volunteerism in helping students. So you're saying that?
Mas Farhan, thank you for your sharing.
So
Raihan. Oh, sorry, Raihan. Okay. Mbak Siva, Putri Siva, or maybe Mbak Salma or Mbak Sana wants to share your experience too.
or if you have any questions, you can ask if you have any questions. Would you be interested to attend any town hall meeting if governments, if or in local out? What is it called just now?
PM dan perwakilan mahasiswa.
Yeah. Would you attend the town hall meeting?
Town hall meeting, Mbak. Di balai kota pernah? Yeah. Yeah, I think this is common phenomena in Indonesia that students students are not really high in their participation in
Right.
terms of public planning
Yeah.
for public facilities.
Right. Right.
Sometimes, and it's also because the invitation is limited only to certain organization.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, yeah, and the invitation is only for the representative for every organization. So it
Right.
is not individually based.
I see. I see. So
Yeah,
that's kind of like it's very difficult to have this kind of public participation, because public participation is supposed to open to everyone, right? Like I mentioned, it should be inclusive. So even if
yeah,
you're a student, you should be able to attend the town hall meeting. So if only certain group of people are invited, then it's kind of like limiting the participation, I think. Right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. Maybe in Malaysia it's better rather than in
Yeah, I
Indonesia.
think it's like the example that I show you just now. Because I guess because the project is very controversial and people has a lot of concern. That's why the chief minister opened the town hall meeting to everyone, so anyone can go and speak during the town hall meeting. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So they can hear what is the aspiration from the grassroots
yeah,
better.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe because in Indonesia we have many issues
Mhm.
on public participation, also how they have to respond to public facilities.
Yes, yes.
So they cannot invite. For example, for Yogyakarta itself, one province we have 3,600,000 people
Mm-hmm.
in the
Wow.
city.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a quite big number.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So in a big society, I think the representative model will be better.
Better. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because you cannot invite everyone, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
what I think, I mentioned as well in my presentation. If the community is bigger, then probably it's very difficult to have town hall meeting or public participation, right? So unless
Yeah.
the community is smaller, then it's more manageable, I think. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Salma, are you there? Salma nggak ada. Oh, di mahasiswa UM. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any other questions? Any other opinion?
Yeah. Is there anything that you want to share with Dr. Nadhrah regarding your experience in public participation, Mbak and Mas? Mbak Karin? Ah ya. Oh, Mas Karin. Sorry. Yes, a boy. Mbak Mas Karin, Mas Karin. Oh iya, Mbak Ririn, please. Ya, itu masih di mute, masih di mute. Ya.
Yeah, I think you need to unmute.
I want to ask that is it free to do demonstration in Malaysia? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. The demonstrations the protests that I show you just now, yes, but of course, police are in the know. Usually the government also in the know that this group of NGOs are going to have the protests. But back then in Malaysia, it's much more difficult to have a public demonstration. But I think over the years, especially recently, I think the government is much more open where we can have demonstrations and protests more openly. So without any violence, things like that. So just the one that I show you just now, it's very peaceful protest. So people just gather and they shows the sepanduk, the cardboard. They can speak. in Penang we have the what we call public speaker, where a place, for people to freely say whatever that they want to say. So it's okay to do that. You're not going to get jail or anything like that. So yeah. What about in Indonesia? Is it difficult to have a demonstration?
No, no, it's same like Malaysia. It's free to do demonstration, but I think it's not peaceful. Not peaceful like Malaysia.
Yeah. I think it's been a while in Malaysia where we have violence in public demonstration. At least in Penang, what we have so far is very peaceful demonstrations. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for the questions.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Maririn. And I think Malaysia is a good democracy also in the implementation, because
Yeah.
they still address the protest in a soft way.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like soft demonstration, not hard demonstration.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Dr. Nadhrah, I think we have also students from UUM
Uh-huh.
that also join our class.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe from UUM, but Nurul has visa, or who else from UUM? If you want to ask something to Dr. Nadhrah, or you have any, Mbak Nur Sahira Izzati, maybe you want to address some questions to Dr. Nadhrah, please.
So is this like a what is it? Is it what we call exchange students? Are you guys
Yes.
exchange
Yes.
students? I see.
Yeah, we have done for 5 years by now with
Okay.
UUM for student exchange.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if you guys are from UUM. Have you heard about the plan in Penang? Because Kedah and Penang is just like neighbors.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you are familiar with some of the examples that I give in my presentation just now.
Yeah. Mbak Nur Aini Izzati, Nur Najwa, Nur Sahira, are you there? Maybe they still have doing something else.
Yeah, or maybe I don't know. Yeah, maybe that's the downside of online interaction, right?
Yeah. So we have to understand it.
Yeah,
Yeah, because this is not offline class.
exactly.
Yeah.
See?
Okay, Dr. Nadhrah, I think it is a very good lecture today. You delivered the class, the materials, very excellent.
Thank you.
And we also learn learn more on your PowerPoint and your materials.
Mhm.
Hopefully, we can meet again next week, Dr. Nadhrah, with the same schedule.
No, I think it's just only two. Yeah,
Yeah.
two sessions only.
Oh, yeah, 12. Yeah, sorry. 12 of April. Sorry.
Yeah, so
And,
yeah, 12 April, you are going to give a lecture to my class, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much,
Yeah,
Dr.
thank you.
Nadhrah.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. It's a
Yeah.
great opportunity to give presentation to your students, to UMY students. So thank you very much, everyone. I hope you learn something from my lectures
Yeah.
last week and also this week.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
all
you
right.
very much.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Take care.
Bye.
See you. Bye.
Assalamualaikum. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye.